Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. Today's Friday, October the 7th, and I'm Bill Allen sitting in for Winston Chester this morning. On a quick note, Winston called me yesterday about 9 o'clock in the morning, and his father-in-law did pass away yesterday, his wife Gail's father, and I just want everybody there to keep him in your keep their family in your thoughts and prayers, and I know he's certainly in ours. And Winston should be back here Monday morning, and I'm sure you'll all be happy about that. Start with the weather with Haney Technical Center. Brought to us by Haney Technical Center. Today's temperature is 63. A high expected at 86 and a low tonight about 65. The good news is our water temperature is probably right around 78 right now, which is getting exciting for fishing. Boating forecast though, east-northeast today at 14. Moderate chop in protected waters. Seas 4 to 6 feet, and I was up early watching the Weather Channel this morning, and we got to be aware of a tropical situation, not a huge tropical situation, but down below Miami it's probably going to bring us some wind and some rain just in time for the weekend. River readings, Apalachicola at Bluntstown, not a whole lot of difference, folks. 0.8 and just going to stay there. It was like a broken record. Choctawhatchee at Caryville, 0.3. So if you're going down there, be careful. There's fish to be caught, but it's just a dangerous situation running around the river. I keep saying it, but I know from experience. Let's take a look at the Carl Vernon tide chart. We've got St. Andrews Bay Channel entrance tides today. There's a high at 6:45 a.m., a low at 3:35 p.m., and then a high at 11:35 p.m. And moving into tomorrow, I think we got 5 tides, so it's going to be tough. This is a changeover this weekend. St. Joe, high at 7:18 a.m. and a low at 3:40 p.m. And let's go. We're going to take our first break right now. We're going to be back with a special guest. We're going to talk about duck hunting this morning. Thank you.
We are so lucky to live in North Florida. We have some of the best fresh and saltwater fishing in the world. My biggest problem is not catching fish, but trying to decide what kind of fish I want to catch. No matter what I'm after, I always stop at Sunjammers Water Sports first. They have just what I need: rods and reels, line, tackle, and most important, live bait. Yes, sir, we sure are lucky.
Hi, I'm Paul Flagg with Professional Fiberglass and Marine Service. We offer all types of boat repair, fiberglass work, bottom painting, detailing, buffing. If your gel coat's looking dull, we can get that boat looking good for you again. We also offer a pickup and delivery service, and we have trailers that you can use if we are going to work on your boat, and we can come and get your boat for you. We can be reached at 850-960-9054, or you can reach us on the web at profiberglassmarine.com.
Bill Kramer Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC is Panama City's exclusive full-line dealership, built on a 45-year foundation of trust and total customer satisfaction in all departments, including our huge pre-owned department, where we'll pay top dollar for your current automobile as a trade-in, or we'll place your vehicle on our lot and help you sell it. At Bill Kramer Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. 4 decades, 3 generations, 1 tradition.
Your vision is precious. If an emergency arises, you don't want to be sitting in a hospital waiting room. Accidents and injuries can happen outside of your workday. That's why our team of physicians provide emergency eye care to our patients anytime, day or night. You can count on your local experts in eye care to be there for you whenever you need us. The Eye Center of North Florida.
9 doctors, 1 vision, yours.
Welcome back. I've got with me today Bill Shields, who you may recognize as a local catfish expert from a couple of weeks ago. Also a duck hunting expert. You know, a couple of years ago, Bill decided that he was afraid we were going to run out of things to do, so he got us back into duck hunting. And it really is a lot of fun. And, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. You just don't get up and go out one morning and decide you're going to shoot ducks. So, Bill, I mean, talk about what it takes just to get ready to go duck hunting.
Well, it's first of all, I'll tell you a little bit about why I started duck hunting again. We used to do a little duck hunting when we were in in high school in our early 20s, and
you were still in your early 20s in high school.
Yeah,
it's clear that.
but we anyway. I got away from that and I started quail hunting and doing a lot of dove hunting and things like that. And basically, I like to shoot things that fly. Don't do a lot of deer hunting. Don't do any deer hunting. But anyway, when I quit quail hunting a few years ago, my kids had gotten to the age where they were involved in a lot of sports that were weekend activities and things. So I had kind of gotten away from hunting, except for the occasional dove hunt, you know, maybe a couple of 3 times a year, and that was about it. So a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, I guess, I told my wife, I said, you know, I want to start hunting again, but I don't care anything about deer hunting. I want to shoot something that flies, and I think I'm going to start duck hunting. And the reason I started duck hunting was because, number one, I didn't have to depend on somebody else to plant a crop. I didn't have to have 4 or 5 guys to go with me to a dove field to keep birds moving. It's something I could do by myself or something I could do with a group of people. So, and I kind of got involved in wood duck hunting. I enjoy that. I enjoy the river and being on the river, whether it's the Choctawhatchee Basin or the Apalachicola Basin. So anyway, I started getting rigged up to duck hunt, and of course you learn as much as you can through the internet today. You can learn all kinds of things, but I built a blind for my boat, a little pop-up blind, which I use early in the season. I also have a cover that you can buy this burlap camouflage. Sewed a few pieces of that together where I can cover my boat up. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll hunt off of the hill, just pull my boat up, cover it up, have my decoys set out naturally, pull the boat up the hill, cover it up, and get out and hunt from the hill. I really enjoy doing that a lot.
Now you can't just walk out and duck hunt, right? I mean, you have shells, licenses that are different.
Right, you've got to have a Florida. Well, of course, your hunting license, and you got to have a Florida migratory bird permit, and you also have to have a federal duck stamp. And then, of course, if you're hunting a management area, you've got to have permits that go along with doing that. And then you have to use non-toxic shot, which basically is steel shot.
Now, what size? Talk about that. I mean, it's a little bit heavier shot with a duck.
If I'm shooting ducks on Deer Point or Wemaco or someplace like that, open type shooting like that, I probably use 4s, number 4 shot. When I'm hunting on the river and I'm kind of hunting in close quarters, a lot of times I'll shoot my 20 gauge. I won't even carry a 12 gauge. I'll shoot a 20 gauge, and it's a 2 3/4 inch chamber. So I'll use 6s a lot. I'm kind of the theory of the more shot you can put in them, the better off it. Not necessarily knock big holes in them, but put a lot of little holes in them is sometimes, I think you've got a better opportunity to knock them down.
Yeah, and then let's be honest, you put more shot in the air too when they're flying.
Well,
right?
yeah, and I need all the help I can get.
I'm not going to make any comment about that. And I talk about too, I mean, you just can't run out there. I mean, and it's unfortunate, but it requires us to go to the river and scout for ducks prior to that happening.
Which usually leads to catfishing and things like that.
Houseboat trips. But, I mean, it does take a little time. It takes some preparation. Check with the FWC to know what you're supposed to have out there. Those guys are a wealth of information to help you with that. But, we'll go late in the afternoon when we're down at the houseboat or at the river and ride some of these creeks and things. I mean, what are you looking for, basically, real quickly?
Actually, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for ducks. If I can find wood ducks in an area, then that means they're using that area and they'll come back to that area. So I'll usually do that early morning. Go back and hunt them early morning or late afternoon.
All right, let's go to our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the decoy setup and got some fun things to show you here.
Coastal Grill, located in the heart of beautiful Port St. Joe, was established in 2002 by Patty and Dewey Blaylock as a family-owned coastal restaurant. In Port St. Joe, we meet at Sunset. Sunset's open for lunch and dinner every day of the week. Fresh seafood's brought in daily and served in a variety of traditional and creative ways. Try our award-winning gumbos. Steaks are grilled simple and perfect over an open flame grill. Our homemade soups, sauces, and salad dressings are so popular, we sell them retail. And don't forget, see the sunset at Sunset.
When you're looking for sales, parts, and service for your outboard, all in one location, you're looking for BJ's Marine. You're authorized Tohatsu and Nissan dealer. BJ's Marine does it all. They have outboard parts and a service center and used motor sales too. Tohatsu, reliable, dependable, fuel efficient, and lightweight. Tohatsu Outboards, technology for the next generation. BJ's Marine, 1317 Transmitter Road since 1991.
On down to Blue Water Outrigger, where you'll always find friendly service, fresh and saltwater fishing rods, top of the line men's and women's apparel. Don't forget to pick up your live baits and let us help you with all your outdoor needs. Check out our wide selection of top quality reels and hunting necessities and everything in between. Come see us or order online. We'll be waiting for you right next door to Piggly Wiggly, Port St. Joe.
Captain's Cove Marina, designed with fishermen in mind. Easy access to the best fishing along Florida's Forgotten Coast. Deep sea fishing, fly fishing from a kayak, cruising endless miles of bayous, bays, and the intercoastal waterway. Count on the captain's crew to work hard to make your day on the water the best ever. Captain's Cove Marina, 1617 Grouper Avenue, Port St. Joe, 850-227-3357.
Welcome back. Now we're talking about duck hunting, something we did a little bit on the preparation for what you need to do to get ready, the licenses and things like that. And once you've gotten a location, then there's still a little bit of work to do early with decoys and setups and spreads and things like that.
Well, we talked a little bit about hiding your boat. You know, whether you use a pop-up type blind or whatever you want to use. I'm a firm believer in you can't hide too well. Ducks have great eyes. They'll pick up any movement. I use I'm in full camouflage and a head net and all of that. But about decoys, a lot of times what I'll do, you don't need a huge spread for wood ducks. I think probably 4 to 6 decoys are enough. And usually what I'll do is I'll set out probably 2 to 3 stationary decoys, and then I'll put a couple on a jerk string. And basically, guys that do some duck hunting know what a jerk string is, but we can go into that later. Maybe a different show about exactly how to build a jerk string. But basically what a jerk string does, it gives you a little bit of motion on the water. It moves your decoys, but it puts a ripple on the water.
Yeah.
And ducks like to see that. They like to see a stationary decoy. If you look at wood ducks make a ripple in the water when they move. So that's what you're doing with a jerk string, is you're putting a little bit of movement. And people say that ducks, wood ducks won't come to a decoy, and they say wood ducks won't come to a call. And I'm sorry, but that's just not true. They'll do both. I do it all the time. Now, they don't decoy maybe exactly like a mallard or puddle ducks or diving ducks do, but they do decoy.
But now there is a particular decoy that will will draw a lot of attention.
People are probably not going to believe this.
Craziest thing that I've ever heard of, but it really does work. And you've got your pet with you there this morning, right?
I do. As way of introduction to Mr. Woodrow, when I got into wood duck hunting, wing shooters know about the mojos. The mojo ducks, with the wings that rotate, and of course they've got dove, they have mallards, they have teal, and all that. Well, I wanted something with some motion, so I had and they don't have anything along that line for a wood duck. So I was entertaining the idea of maybe taking a teal mojo and replacing the head on it and repainting it, doing all that. On the web one day, and I found a website with a guy that had motion decoys for wood ducks. So this is a strutter. This is a wood duck strutter, and basically you use a piece of electrical conduit and you sit the conduit in the mud. You know, usually you can carry, I carry 2 or 3 different pieces of conduit with me of different lengths depending on how deep the water is. You do. Well, you've seen, if you've duck hunted or watched ducks on a pond or whatever, you've seen ducks strut, and basically they'll stand up on they'll kind of stand up and flap their wings, and that's what this guy does. So I'm going to show you what the motion that this duck makes, and this is my duck strutting. So if you can imagine this duck sitting at water level, actually in the water, he's mimicking a Drake wood duck standing up in the water and strutting. Well, what that does, it gives some motion to your spread. But I found by using that, it also puts some ripple on the water. But I found by using that it works early in the season when you still have some foliage on the trees. Because the bad part about this is it's just like a mojo. It's not remote control. You can't turn it off and turn it on from the boat. So, you know, unfortunately these ducks don't sit out there and strut for 30 minutes or 40 minutes
but
at
it
a time.
It does draw.
It'll draw their
It's
attention
amazing.
when you're sitting in the boat or in your blind or whatever, and you hear the ducks flying early in the morning, and they're flying over these creek tops, and you blow a call a time or two, and you see them craning their necks around to look, and when they see him, they'll turn and come back and take another look at him. But I've learned early in the season, when you still have a lot of foliage on the trees where they can't see him continuously, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. But after the leaves fall off of the trees and everything where they can see him continuously, it doesn't work as well because they say, hey, this guy's doing way too much strutting. We're not going to go back there. But
and it's when those ducks, when they come in and you're in some of those creeks and some of the backwaters and finding an open place to set up. I mean, it is fast and furious when those ducks come in. It is some kind of quick shooting, and you have to be very careful with that. And you have to know where everybody is that you're hunting with. Whether somebody's in the boat or on the hill or something. And
now, I prefer to put Bill directly across the creek from me and shoot at him.
Yeah, we've and I don't recommend this. It seems like a good idea to have the decoys between you and your hunting partner over there, but just without going into a lot of detail, take it from experience. That's really not the way the best way to get set up.
I have found I learned a little bit, and it's always a learning experience. Every time I go, it seems like I learned something. It's I think I've got it figured out, and then they'll throw me a little curve, and I'll have to go a different direction. But I found out that I prefer to hunt from the hill, and if I get set up on the hill where I've got somebody hunting with me, we'll get maybe 30 yards apart, and I'll put the decoys between us on a jerk string. And because the birds are not going to sit down in the decoys, they're going to sit down either side of them. So by doing that and putting the decoys between us, I'm pretty much assured that the birds are going to sit, somebody's going to get to shoot. Yeah. This flight of birds come in, may sit down in front of Bill, the next flight that comes in, may come in on my side or whatever, but by sitting up that way, it's good.
They always seem to come in on your side, though. It's just the luck of the draw.
Yeah, absolutely. But it has nothing to do with how I set the decoys or anything like that.
It is a lot of fun. It's something you have to be careful with. Those ducks will come from any direction, and they come in fast. So there's a lot of fast shooting going on.
Especially early. When you're up in the creeks early like this, and you still have a lot of leaves on the trees, there's a lot of times when, especially early morning hunts, you're in there, you're set up before daylight, and now it's just cracking day. You got legal shooting hours, but you've got ducks coming in, and once they come down and come over the trees and they get that down below the tree line, you can't see them.
Yeah.
Early. Now when the leaves fall off of the trees, you'll be able to pick them up, earlier in the morning. But golly, I've had them sit down. I've heard them. I've called them. I've seen them circle. I've seen them come down and go get behind below the tree line and light right there in front of me, and I hadn't seen them yet because it's just too, it's too many leaves on the trees.
And it is fast and furious.
It is.
So, all right, let's take our last break here, and we'll come back with Famous Friday Fishing Report.
The greatest investment we can all make is in the lives of our children and grandchildren.
To help you invest for retirement, handle your IRA rollover, protect your family with life or long-term care insurance. Call my dad for an appointment at his new office on Wilson Avenue behind Lowe's. And he'll give you a copy of his most recent book, 7 Steps to Serious Money. For free! Walter Woodrick, your Serious Money advisor!
Sunrise to sunset. A walk through nature takes you on a journey of Florida's Emerald Coast. You'll encounter the wildlife, birds, lighthouses, indigenous to the beautiful land and seascapes of Florida. Set to the sounds of nature and enhanced with easy listening music. Only $14.95 plus $4.95 shipping and handling. NatureWalkDVD.com or send check or money order to the address on the screen. A walk through nature. Visually stunning.
My name's Captain Rick Corley. I'm a SAMS accredited Marine Surveyor, NAM certified Marine Surveyor, and IAME certified Marine Investigator. Been surveying since 1969. Was taught by my father, who is the oldest, longest practicing Marine Surveyor in the world. We do all types of survey, commercial or pleasure. Steel, aluminum, fiberglass, wood, makes no difference. Give us a call at 850-527-5287 or visit us online. We'd appreciate your visits.
It's Kubota Summertime Deal Days at Soul Tractor, and that means Kubota finance offers are heating up. Right now, we have long-term finance rates as low as 0% APR available for qualified buyers. We have the deals you've been waiting for on the quality new Kubota zero-turn mowers. Come take a look at our new Kubota gas or diesel zero-turn mowers today while the sun shines.
Hurry to Soul Tractor's Kubota Summertime Deal Days and get your best deal on a new Kubota today while the sun shines.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that little look into duck hunting. It's a lot of fun. It takes a little bit of preparation, but like anything else, be safe doing it, know where you're at and what you're doing, where your partners are. Before I get started on we get started on the Famous Friday Fishing Report, I want to take just a minute to say a special happy birthday to Trace Allen, who just happens to be my grandson. He's 3 today, so happy birthday, Trace. Now, let's take a look at the Express Lane Fish and Game Report on the peak times today. This morning from 9:20 to 11:20 a.m. and tonight from 9:42 to 11:42. Be aware there's going to be some wind blowing. It's going to pick up. It's going to be kind of a rough. This may be a good weekend with the tides and the wind to make sure all your stuff's clean and your reels are ready, because it's going to be a little tough out there.
Clean your guns.
It's going to be a little tough out there. So let's take a look at the report from Mexico Beach. Mitch Coleman over there is really good about keeping us informed of what's going on. Water temps have dropped to 77 near shore and 79 along the buoy line. The king mackerel bite is still very good on live bait, slow troll. AJs, amberjacks are hitting live bait or jigs over large structure, and the grouper bite is good, of course, on big pinfish. Now, the good news is fall pompano bite has started along the beaches from Windmark to Crooked Island, and sand fleas, of course, always a good thing to use. Going over to South Walton, Bruce Mixon reporting to us that he got reports this week that they're catching pompano at Navarre Pier. A fisherman from Walton County went this week and caught over 20 that were really nice. He's catching some of our pompano, obviously, over there. Pompano are being caught surf fishing in Walton County, but they are out by the second sandbar. Sand fleas scarce on the beach, so a lot of people are using shrimp. And if you're using shrimp, use fresh shrimp and peel them. Flounder are good off the beach, but they are grouped in together, so if you're lucky enough to hit the group, you can catch them. And reds are good from the Coast Guard station to the jetties. And the speck bite is good in the bay around the points, of course, where the water's moving. Now, you talked to a buddy this week who was offshore diving, like in 80 feet of water, and said the flounder were plentiful.
Said they had basically carpeted the bottom. They I thought it was a little bit early. I didn't think that. I mean, obviously they don't all go at one time, but they were on a little piece of natural bottom, not far out of the pass, and on the, of course, always on the lee side of that's where those flounder. They say anyway. I've never seen them, but they say on the lee side.
Well, I have. They're on the down current side. Most of everything, and years and years ago when I dove regular, in fact, Jim Lewis and I from Express Lane have seen them out there on the old Long Beach barge, or I think they call it Panama City barge now. They're just down there like carpet. It's amazing. But what scares me is except for a few guys that I talked to last year, the flounder got out in the Gulf before anybody could get them. The same kind of situation that it's turning out to be this year. It's been a little bit windy. The weather was rough. It was hard to go flounder. And the next thing you knew,
they're gone.
They were gone. They were out there. And I don't have a 80-foot gig or light that'll handle that. So, and I don't dive anymore. But you can catch them now if you go off some of these offshore structures. You can do it with gulp, or you can do it with live bait, a little more lead. And
well, early like this, you still have some bull minnows that you can catch. If you've got a bait net, you can catch some bull minnows or tiger minnows or whatever. And now, when the weather cools off a little bit, that's going to get scarce. But I've done that several times.
Continuing on, I talked to Captain Stan Cooper this week, the East Bay specialist, and he's catching a lot of redfish over there. And what Stan will do is, he spends a lot of time covering a lot of ground, covering a lot of water, looking for, sight fishing. And Greg and I were over there last week, caught some real nice redfish. And West Bay's the same kind of way. It's water temperatures, so top water early is always a great thing to do. So. I think we're working our way through this. I want to mention, too, I talked to Randy Berlin. Randy's a good fisherman. He spends a lot of time bass fishing as well as red fishing, and he's been down the river the last couple of weekends. I think he's headed out today, and he reports that he is catching a ton of bass. Yes, what I'm trying to say. 30-something at a time. A lot of small ones, but gets through it good. We've talked our way through this again. Thanks for putting up with us for a couple of days. Winston is going to be back on Monday. I know you're happy about that, but have a good weekend and be safe on the water.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.